The views expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of this station. Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan. This is a Channel 11 News public affairs program dealing with the issues affecting those in the community as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights.
Welcome to Insights. I'm Annie Taylor. Today we're sitting down with Billie McRoberts, the airport manager of Alpena. So Billie, you're the manager of the airport. What is your role?
My main role for the airport as manager is to make sure that the federal regulations are enforced, to assist the authorities, the federal authorities in enforcing the rules and regulations at the airport, and also to plan and to plan capital improvement projects to maintain the infrastructure of the airport, to maintain its safety, and just to keep it open as an airport, to make sure that there's no activity that is permitted that would interfere with it being an airport, and that the airport is available to the public as an airport.
What do you mean by capital improvement projects?
Capital improvement projects would be maintaining the runways, the lighting, anything that would have a safety factor to it. That would be the most important of all of the projects we do at the airport, is to maintaining the safety aspect.
Do you, if that is the hardest one that you said, maintaining the safety, is it just you taking part in that role, or how many other people does it take to maintain that safety of the airport? Well,
the airport has an engineering firm that consults with us, and they, of course, know a lot about airports, and so they will bring their ideas to the table, and then we'll decide, with the amount of funding we have available, what are the priorities as far as safety issues, or if all the safety issues are taken care of, then we can move on to different things like revenue generating projects.
Are there certain quotas that you have to meet each year?
For the funding, yes. We, as an air service airport, we have to have 10,000 employments per year in order to receive the $1 million worth of federal funding. Now, this $1 million federal funding is actually 95% federal funded. It's 2.5% state, so the county would pay 2.5% on dollars spent, which is, it's quite a deal.
Right, and 10,000 employment, that means 10,000 people flying in and out of Alpena, is that correct?
An employment is a paying passenger that flies out of Alpena. Correct.
Okay. Kind of moving back a little bit, I want to know more of the background of the airport. I know that it's been here for a long time, and it's pretty special that Alpena does have an airport. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, just after World War I, the airport was used as a flight training facility, and it wasn't until 1952 that it was formally dedicated as an airport, and it was Phelps Collins Airfield at the time. It was named after a local war hero. And in I believe it was 1952 is when the Air National Guard came in and acquired a joint use of the facility.
Oh, wow. And when did you come on to the airport?
I came on in 2000. I was the administrative assistant to the airport manager then, and I've been there ever since.
Is this something that you knew you always wanted to do, or did you start someplace else before?
Well, I started in the county commissioner's office.
Okay.
Prior to that, and there was an opportunity opened up at the airport for administrative assistant. So I signed that posting and went out there and went through a lot of changes in 2000, 2001, and 2. And airport managers came and went, and I had the opportunity to take the test for airport manager. I took the test, passed, and the county decided to hire me for continuity. So I would be there for a while. So I'm going on 7 years now.
Would you ever expected that this is something that...
Absolutely not.
No?
No, it's been a real learning experience.
What is something that you've learned from being an airport manager that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise?
Ooh.
Or some of the things of the job that you enjoy?
Well, I've learned so many things. I can't put my finger on just one. Learning basically how the airline runs is really, that's been a real learning experience. I had no idea before when Northwest decided to merge with Delta, and that's when things started to change drastically. And I hadn't had to deal with that before, so it was a real learning experience.
And I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much goes into just getting the plane up, everyone behind the scenes as well. So what did you learn from that process? I mean, you are really behind the scenes seeing how everything works.
Well, I've learned how unique airlines business is and how their business runs. When Delta Airlines first notified us that they were pulling out, I began to contact airlines myself, and that didn't work so well. And it took I was contacting these airlines, and they were graciously answering my calls and my email, but it wasn't until we formed the team that we really got somewhere. We hired a consultant who understands all about essential air service airports, understands the regional airlines and how they work. It's very complicated. So the consultant was key to our able to get a bid from SkyWest Airlines.
Okay, and that's what I want to talk about, in our next segment is about that whole issue that's been going on this year. But what else can you tell us about the airport, something that's maybe unique that people on the outside don't really know about?
About the airport?
Or some of the things that are exciting that you like to see at the airport, or your day-to-day job that you like?
Just seeing the aircraft come and go. It's incredible. And with the military base there, some of the aircraft that come in, the C-5s, it's incredible how they can actually get off the ground. Yeah. I mean, it's exciting to see that.
All right. Well, before we go, I just want to let everyone know that when we come back, we're going to be talking about the issues that have been taking place in the last year that Billie already touched upon, the transition between Delta and maybe SkyWest. So stay with us. Welcome back to Insights. I'm Annie Taylor, and I'm sitting here with Billie McRoberts, the airport manager. Now, when we left off, we were talking about the issues in the past year of SkyWest and Delta, the merger, or if Delta's leaving. So, will you explain a little bit of the background of that? And I know we talked about before, it went back a couple of years.
Well, actually, Northwest Airlines has been at the airport since 1998, and back then, just as I came out to the airport, they had up to 4 flights a day. We were doing very well. And then in 2008, Northwest and Delta were merging, and they received approval from the Department of Justice to merge. And then about a year later, up to this point, Northwest Airlines had not been accepting a subsidy for the air service. And then a year later, in 2009, I received a call from Delta Airlines, and they wanted to go to the DOT and request a subsidy. So in order to do that, they had to file an order to suspend service, but then they were going to put in a bid on Alpena, essential air service bid. So we went through that process, and they received the bid, and then a year after that, they decided that because they had retired all their turboprops, all their 34-seat Saabs, that they could no longer afford to provide service in Alpena. Oh. That's when they decided that it wasn't economically feasible for them to provide jet service in Alpena. So that's when the whole process got started. The bid went out. We received one bid that didn't qualify, and then the second round, I don't believe we received any bids at that time. And then the third round, we received 2 bids, which one of them actually fit the criteria for an essential airport, but the community did not want that bid. So as a community, we rejected it. We were very fortunate to get a 4th round of bids. And in the meantime, we had been discussing with SkyWest. We went out there. Myself and Jim Claridge went out to Utah to meet with them. They really tried to put something together for us at that time, but the timing just was not right. So then we had to go through another round, this 4th round, and they were revisited, SkyWest, and they finally put something together for us. And we're hoping that the DOT will award that essential air service to SkyWest, because it would really be an asset to the community. And there's much support for SkyWest. It is the bid amount is more than typically they had been paying, but I believe that because of the amount of service that we would be getting, that it would really be a good thing for our area.
Do you think that you would find more people would fly out than they have in the past year, probably because of all the issues?
Well, I believe the employments have gone down, and I believe that people are skeptical. And because they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going to take place. But I think once the airline comes in, and it should be a fairly seamless transition, because there's a Delta code share, which means you will check your bags at Alpena and they will go to your destination.
Oh, okay.
On a Delta. And passengers will be able to use their Delta Sky Miles, and it'll just be by far the best option for us at this point. And I think once it all settles down, people will realize that it is a good airline, great service. The 2 hubs we will be going to, Minneapolis or Detroit, are great hubs. I think it'll be great. And
SkyWest and Delta are affiliated in some sense, correct?
Actually, the planes are owned by SkyWest.
Oh, okay.
And SkyWest contracts with Delta to be able to use their name, their code share.
Okay.
Nothing's owned by Delta other than the name. And then passengers from Alpena will be able to connect to other Delta flights on the same ticket.
Okay. That's probably the seamless.
Yes.
And also you can use your Delta Fly Miles as well.
Exactly.
You've said before that this is something that the community wants, and the employees obviously have said yes to this, that they would like it. Why do you think the employees were skeptical if it wasn't that?
Well, we do have the Regional Elite, which is the airline ground people. They are contracted by Delta Airlines. So when Delta pulls out and SkyWest comes in, SkyWest will either bring their own grounds people, or they will put out, ask for bids from other air carrier grounds people, companies, to put in a bid. So if SkyWest does not contract with Regional Elite, it could mean the Regional Elite employees would lose their job. But there is a chance that SkyWest will use the same grounds carriers, and everything will remain the same as far as that goes too.
So that there's nothing in the contract that would secure the jobs of the employees?
No, not at this point.
And is that something, as an airport manager, that's difficult for you to see that, you know, it's hard to look out for the employees during this transition because they are what makes things running, you know.
Right, right. And the airport itself has nothing to do with the grounds people. I mean, that's all airline related. All the airport does is rents office space and you know, area for the airline to run. We have no say in how they run. That's their business. So who they contract with, we have no say.
But the as an airport manager, do you work with the DOT?
I work, yes, with the DOT in conjunction. Well, I work alongside them. Yes, they.
So it's obviously going to be affecting not only the employees but also the community as well. When we come back from break, I would like to talk about the effects that it has on the community and also the future of the airport, of where you hope it will be. So stay with us. Welcome back to Insights. I'm Annie Taylor, and we're still here sitting with Billie McRoberts, the airport manager of Alpena. Now, Billie, before we went to break, we were talking about how the new airline carrier will affect the employees. Now, moving into how it will affect the community, have you seen any complaints that I'm sure people come up to you on the side of the road and go, hey, what's going on? Like trying to get information from you. Have you seen that?
Oh yes, oh yes. People are always asking me questions about the airline. Where are we at? What's going on? Affecting the community, if we're fortunate enough to receive SkyWest as our essential air carrier, there will be some changes. It'll be seamless, I think, in the actual change because the planes will look the same. Your bags will be checked in Alpena and go on to your destination. You'll be able to get on other Delta flights. You'll be able to use your Sky Miles. The only big change I see taking place is the scheduling. The first flight of the day will not leave Alpena until noon. Now this is their proposed schedule. It could change, but then it will come back, say around 4:30, and that could be an issue for business travelers. But for the vacationing person, I don't think that that's a real issue. We will have an option to go to Minneapolis, which is a great option, or to Detroit, which is our normal hub that we wanted to maintain. Pricing, I think, will be comparable. They quoted $82 round trip to Detroit and $86, I believe, to Minneapolis round trip. So it will be, as far as they quoted, things could change, after things get settled down, but that's not a bad price. I think people will begin to use the service, and SkyWest is one of the best regional airlines in the industry. They are very upright and just a great airline to work with. So I think we will have a great working relationship with the airline.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next, of how it's been relationship-wise between you guys, and how our negotiations, take place between those. I know you went to Utah to talk to them. Are they pretty set in stone with what they have going, or can you guys, negotiate more with pricing? Or
I believe once they get in here, the big success is getting them here. And once we get them here and begin to work with them, they will see our needs. And I think things will be able to change in time to come. It'll open up maybe in the future availability of other aircraft, so we will be able to have a better schedule, leaving earlier in the morning, that sort of thing. They are very open to the community and what the community's needs are, and I believe they'll be coming in and marketing with us, and they'll be a part of the community. And I'm really looking forward to working with them. They're going to be a great asset.
Does Alpena have something that SkyWest wanted to be a part of? Because I think that's something that I would like to know of. How do airlines choose, yeah, I'm gonna go in Alpena and I want to be their, new carrier?
Well, that's kind of a complicated, I don't know how they figure that out. All I know is where the traffic is where the airlines want to be.
Right.
They must feel that they can come in and produce enough traffic to make it worth their while to be here.
How are the flights, because you said with the new carrier, they'll start at noon. The flights right now, are they starting earlier? Do we have more flights now than we would if SkyWest were here until things, start to change?
We have 2 flights a day, which we are, because we're an essential essential air service airport, we are guaranteed 2 flights a day. We currently have 2 flights a day to Detroit, and we will have 2 flights a day, one to Detroit and one to Minneapolis when SkyWest comes in, if SkyWest comes in.
So we'll add 2 more then, essentially?
Well, not necessarily. We'll have the same amount of flights, but one will be going to Minneapolis and one will be going to Detroit, instead of having 2 flights to Detroit.
And because it's SkyWest, is that why we're able to go to Minneapolis now?
Yes, that's one of their hubs,
okay.
Minneapolis.
And do you think that's going to support the wants and needs of Alpena to go to Minneapolis? Have you ever seen people, obviously need to go somewhere else besides Detroit? Have people ever asked, why can we go somewhere else?
Oh, yes. There have been other people wanting to go to Chicago. But Minneapolis is it's a big hub and lots of connections. I think with Minneapolis and Detroit, what more could we ask for? I mean, we'll be able to go anywhere we want.
With SkyWest, have they told you that maybe they would hire more people? Would it maybe if that would affect the community of more opportunities job-wise, or would it stay the same? Have you guys discussed any of those aspects?
No, actually, we have not been in discussion yet because they haven't been awarded the bid. We're just waiting.
Right.
But once the bid is awarded, I'm sure they'll send someone in to negotiate possibly a lease. And there'll be someone maybe locally here from SkyWest that will be able to work with us. Nobody's really promising anything except for good service.
Right.
They do promise that.
Is always good.
Yes.
In contracts like that, that maybe that you know about or have seen, are there time limits? Like, we're going to be with Alpena for 5 years, or is it just kind of whenever they want to pull out, they'll pull out or stay?
Well, the Essential Air Service Program, goes on a cycle of 2 years. So every 2 years they will put out for bid again. The airline can choose to rebid or not to rebid. Or they could also choose to pull out like Delta did, but they have to stay at the airport until they find another carrier to come in.
Okay. And do you personally want SkyWest to be there?
Yes, I do.
Yes?
Yes, I do. I've heard very good things from people that know that they're a great company to work with, very honest, upright people, and I just think that is that's the backbone to having great service, and just caring about the community, caring whether they meet the needs of the community. I think I'm excited.
Does it affect your job in any way?
Not really, other than dealing with different people. I think SkyWest is possibly more touchable because they are a regional airline, as to Delta is a very big airline.
Right.
So I believe that there would just be more interaction.
I was just going to say more attentive because
Yes.
it's smaller. You don't have to, work with so many different people. They're right there. Is there anything else that the community should know about when the bid might be finally sealed?
Well, I'm expecting any day to hear something from the DOT.
Oh, really? This soon?
Yes, I'm hoping to. But even if they're awarded the bid now, it won't be until September, October before the actual transition. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I mean, I know I'm excited. I'm from California, so going out and still having the airline there, and I was a Delta Fly Mile, so having SkyWest would be great.
Yes.
So, I think everyone is looking forward to finding out soon. Would you let people know right away, or?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have a big party at the airport. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us today, Billie. It was so nice to talk to you, and I'm sure the community appreciates it as well.
Thank you.
All right, well, you guys can catch Insights next week at 11.
Insights into Northeast Michigan has been a Channel 11 News public affairs program. If you have any comments, suggestions, or topics you would like to see on a future show, please email us at the web address on the screen. This has been a production of Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation. All rights reserved.